In this video, I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can help release the piriformis muscle, which when it is restricted causes a lot of issues with people who suffer from hip impingement, FAI, and labral tears. And that's because it controls rotation of the hip in various different angles. And so it can compensate for a lot of movement restrictions, but it can also cause a lot of problems when it's restricted. So let's take a look at how we can do that. So the piriformis muscle starts at the sacrum and goes to the top of the greater trochanter. So you can kind of trace that with your hands, then take a lacrosse ball and put it right up against the wall. This is kind of the easiest, least intense way to do this soft tissue mobilization. And the goal here isn't to move around a lot and try to cause as much friction as possible. The goal is really to find where you have a sensitive spot and then focus on your breathing. You'll take a nice inhale and then exhale. And as you exhale, you want to try to turn that muscle off. You want to try to turn the piriformis off. And you'll notice when you're able to do that, your pelvis tilts a little bit posteriorly, right? After about a minute there, find another spot on the piriformis and do the same thing. Nice inhale. And then exhale, let it release, and you'll feel your pelvis tilt back in a posterior pelvic tilt. Now, if you don't get a lot from that, you can do the same thing on the ground. So trace where that muscle is, put the ball there, and then you'll just put some weight through it, right? And so here, we're gonna do the same thing. Find that sore spot, nice big inhale through the nose, and then as you exhale, try to let that muscle turn off, right? And again, you should feel that posterior pelvic tilt happening here, okay? Now, there's some other ways that you can release it, and they get gradually more intense. One is lying on your back and really turning the hip joint so that your knee fall out, and then turn it in as much as you can. So we're actually doing some of the action of the piriformis while we're trying to release it. And again, this shouldn't be super painful. It shouldn't really get out of more than a 6 out of 10 on the pain scale, but we do want it to be a little bit uncomfortable so that we can identify where's that muscle, how is it restricted? It's restricted because it's sore, and then turning it off with the exhale. So the most intense one is going to be the figure 4 stretch. So you put that ball down on the muscle, cross your leg, and then you try to put as much weight through the ball as possible. And you'll notice here, I'm not really moving a lot. It's mostly just putting weight through the hip into the ball. Nice inhale and exhale. You'll feel that posterior pelvic tilt as it starts to relax. And so after you do one or all of these, make sure you retest and see how your hip impingement, FAI, labral tears feel after performing this soft tissue release. And you should notice that it feels a little better, right? It's not going to fix it, right? It's not going to fix your problem. It's a great pain management strategy. It can help you find the muscle, the piriformis, and start to learn how to control it. But if you don't have a proper therapeutic exercise program, like Pain to Perform, FAI, and labral tears, then it will return to its restricted state because you will not have fixed the compensations that you built up. But this is a great strategy to get some relief from hip pain and to help manage the pain while you are trying to find the right solution for your hips. If this helped you, check out my free course, Soft Tissue Release for FAI and Labral Tears. You can find that in the link below, or just go to paintoperform.com. And if you're finally ready to get out of hip pain, groin pain, anterior, front of the hip pain that comes with hip impingement, FAI, and labral tears, check out my Pain to Perform FAI and Labral Tears program. In only 4 weeks, you can go from being in pain to being in a state where you're able to perform any movement, exercise that you need to do throughout your day. So check that out, paintoperform.com. Thanks for watching.